Hello, good afternoon, my dear students. So, in this lecture, we will be talking about choosing the right logo for your Facebook campaign. So, a campaign logo is just one part of your branding or establishing the identity of your campaign. So, a logo can be or is a visual representation of your brand. So, when people look at your logo, they will think about what your campaign stands for, what your campaign is all about. So a logo can take many forms. It can be a letter, it can be initials or acronyms, it can even be in terms of symbols or pictorials or a combination of text and um, symbols or images. And here I am going to present 9 different types of logos that you can develop for your campaign, and you will see that each one fits a certain purpose or a certain scenario. So you be careful in choosing which one is best fit for your campaign, especially considering that your campaign will be hosted in Facebook as the platform. So our source material for this lecture is Wix Creative. So in Wix is is a logo creation application among others. So you can also create websites in using the Wix, but you can also create logos. So our source material is the 9 types of logos and how to use them effectively. So here are the 9 types of logos. So I am sure that you are familiar with some of them. The golden arches of McDonald's is actually a letter form logo. The the blue tweeting bird of Twitter is a symbol type of logo. And you can also see the logo of Starbucks, which is an emblem type. So of course, not all of these logos are recommended for a campaign site, specifically for a social media profile picture, since doon ilalagay yung logo. Ano po? So here above are the 3 most recommended logos for your social media campaign. So we have the Letterforms, the monogram, and the symbol. So if you think about them, they look better even if um, they will be placed in a small space. Ano po, doon lang sa ating profile picture. And it doesn't take very high level of skill to do them. Like for example, in the case of monogram, which are just the initials of your campaign of your campaign name, if your campaign name is too long. Now, wordmark is also recommended, but if your campaign name is quite short, ano po, if it's too long, baka hindi na makita or hindi na siya mabasa in a profile picture. A combo is also recommended, combination marks. That means involving both text and images, but only if it will still look readable or good. It will still look good, even if by just looking at the profile picture. Some of them are not recommended, like for example, the emblems and the mascots. They're quite complicated to do. You would be needing high level of skills to do to to create them. But if you know how to do that, then you are allowed. Abstract logos are also difficult to conceptualize, and then dynamic logos are in terms of dynamic logos, these are logos that changes. Ano po? There are different variations of the same logo, different iteration of the same logo. So since our campaign is only for a limited number of days, 10 days or more, so it's not advisable for you to be changing logos every day. Ano po? So out of the 9, we will be highlighting only 5 of them. So let's start with the word marks. So in the case of word marks, the most notable example here is the Coca-Cola. Ano po? So in Wordmark logos, ang ating um, ang ating makikita ay yung pangalan ng brand o yung pangalan ng campaign. So Wordmark logos is also called logotypes. So this is the best choice if your campaign name is quite short or it's catchy, because of course we have some space issues. We would be having some space issues if the campaign name is too long. Now, the best would be a one-word campaign name. But if you have two-word campaign name, you can stack them together. Put the other word on top of the other to conserve the space. Ano po? So you might say that this is a quite straightforward way of creating a logo, since you're just thinking of, or you are just going to um, put your brand name or your campaign name. Ano po? But if you think about it, there's a lot of things to consider, such as the typography or the text, the style, and the font. Will you be having all capital letters, or will you be mixing the all caps with the small caps? Are you going for a modern look, or are you going for a trendy look? So there's still a lot of things to think about. Ano po? But this is most useful. Word marks or logotypes is most useful for introducing your campaign or your brand to your audience or to the market, since right there on the logo is the name of the brand or of the campaign. The second type of logo is the letter form. So here are very popular. So the F is for Facebook, the white F on a blue background, and then the letter M, of course, is for McDonald's, and the N is for Netflix. So you would already know letter form is a logo that will contain the first letter of the company, the brand, or the campaign name. So since this is you will only be putting one letter on your logo, ano po? So there's no space issues, and they are easily scalable. That means if you um, make the logo smaller, so the text is still visible. The one letter is still visible. This is why most of our social media apps or most of our applications in our phones, those companies would prefer to have letter form logos. So Facebook, Twitter, diba? Are some examples of applications that use letter forms. Even Google, right? Our Google app has the G as the logo, although there are other variation of the Google logo. So this is quite good for social media profile picture as well. They will look good on social media profile picture as well. So first we have the word marks, so the whole name of the brand or of the campaign, letter forms, which is just the first letter of the brand, and then we have the monograms. So popular logos are or include the HBO and the NASA. So if you will notice, in terms of letter marks or monogram, we will be putting in the logo the abbreviation or the brand initials or the campaign initials. So that means this is perfect for campaign names which are quite long, 3 to 4 words. Ano po? So as compared with letter forms, yung isang initial lang or the first letter of the campaign only. So this is helpful for brand recognition or audience retention. Ano po? Since you are putting the brand initials. But some consideration would include the spacing between the letters, the width and the height of the letters, as well as the style. Are you going for the bold or the italics, for example? The next one is the symbols. The symbols or the symbols logos. So here are some popular examples. So we have the logo of Apple, and the logo of Shell, and the logo of Twitter. So here we are moving away from using text. Ano po? So here we are going to use graphics and symbols and images. So usually it would represent the brand identity or what the campaign is for in your case. So most of the time, the symbol is from real world objects. So we saw a while ago that for Apple, it's a literal apple with a bite ano po, on the side. And for Twitter, it's a bird on a blue background. So you can, if you want to use logo symbols or brand marks as your logo for the campaign, you can use a real world object representation of literal representation of those objects. But you can also use the symbol to suggest what the core message of the campaign or the brand is. So for in the case of Twitter, we saw what we know about Twitter is it's a bird with spread wings. Ano po? So it may mean freedom of expression, 'di ba? Since Twitter is a microblogging app. So you think about those types of connotations and subconscious imageries if you're going for logo symbols. And last is the combination mark. So we know the Dove logo and the Toblerone logo. So of course, when you say combination, so combo of text and images or graphics. So combination marks. So maybe you can combine icons and word mark, the whole name of the brand or of the product, such as what was done in Dove and Toblerone, plus some icons. But you can also put some mascots with letter form. So an example of a mascot is the face of Jollibee, diba? So that's a mascot. And then if you put the name Jollibee alongside with that, now that's a combination mark. So this is said to be very popular among brands from all industries because they are very versatile. When we say versatile, you can use them in many forms. So in some cases, maybe you would only like to put the icon or the symbol. In some cases, you might want to put both the letter form and the icon, diba? So for example, like in the brand Lacoste, in most of the shirts, you will only be seeing the crocodile, diba? The green crocodile. But in some media, they would actually put the letter form Lacoste with the iconic crocodile. Ano po? It also would help you build brand recognition. Ano po? Since the name of the brand or the campaign is right there for people to see. Now, how about the other types of logo? So these are not very recommended, but if you want to push through with them, so you can do so. So for abstract logo, these are image-based logo that use abstract forms. So unlike the symbols, the logo symbols, which use real-world objects, ano po? So in abstract logo marks, this is something created by the logo maker themselves. This is something you would need to be a designer, or you would need to hire a designer if you want to create an abstract logo marks. So popular example is that of the Olympics. So the Olympics is quite simple, but behind the logo is a concept. Ano po? So we are seeing 5 rings of different colors representing the 5 major continents, and they are intertwined with each other because in the Olympics, athletes from all over the world come together to compete, diba? Another one is the Airbnb. So it looks like an A for the Airbnb. It looks like an inverted heart. It looks like the location icon as well. So these types of abstract logo marks are metaphorical rather than literal representation of real world objects. Yeah, and so mascots are popular in brands, in fast food chain brands. So mascots are ambassadors of the brand. That's what they are called. So this can be fictitious characters. The mascots can be fictitious characters, such as in the case of Jollibee, or real people, such as in the case of KFC. Diba? We know the Colonel Sanders. So these are mascots are chosen for family brands or products or services for children because they look quite friendly, ano po, or engaging. Emblems are usually used by schools and coffee shops like Starbucks. So they have a traditional feel to it. Sports teams also use the emblems. So this is something that you would be seeing in uniforms of schools, the emblems. And finally are dynamic marks. So dynamic, opposite of static. Ano po, when you say something is dynamic, it's shape shifting. It takes many forms. The most popular example is that of Google. So, di ba, Google would celebrate different types of events, ano po, and they would change their logo, their word form, or their word mark rather, in the landing page of Google to fit that particular event. So it's always changing. Mostly the brands that would use this type of logo would be the popular ones. Ano po? Since they are not using the logo to be recognized by the audience. Since in the first place the audience already know them as a brand, or as a service. But although the dynamic marks are always changing, you will need to have a consistency in terms of style. Ano po? So in terms of Google, so the imageries would still be forming the word Google, or in most cases, they would be using the same font style as you can see here on the image on the right. So those are the 9 types of icons that you can consider. So if you want to start doing your logo, I recommend going to the Wix logo maker to start your logo making, to have some inspiration on how you would create your logo. Canva also has a free logo maker. You would only need to create an account in Canva and in Wix. Um, you can also do your logo in PowerPoint, of course. Most especially if you're just aiming for the word marks, the letter forms, or the letter marks, yung mga text-based logo. So there's a wide plethora of font style that you can choose from in PowerPoint. Just select a font style that communicate the vibe of your campaign. Okay? So good luck, everyone.